Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. We're here. We got the mid-season Arsenal review. As you know, Arsenal top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, semi-final against managerless Chelsea in the Carabao Cup coming up, and
Mm,
a third round tie against Portsmouth, who just got beat 5-0 by Bristol City. I got a little bit
damn.
of football knowledge. Yeah. So, people, we're joined. Firstly, my man in the middle, Clock and Curtis. Talk to me. What you saying, brother? You good?
Oh,
Actually,
good. Enough. I can't really complain, can I? Can't really
Yeah.
complain from an Arsenal perspective.
I dare you to
Mm.
complain.
And we got joining me again, my brother DGB. What you saying, bro? Hope you're blessed, man.
Yo, if I haven't said it already, Happy New Year. Hope this is the
Yes.
year that all your plans just skyrocket, man. Big year. Let's
Mm.
go.
Let's go. And let's just throw it out there. How do you guys feel the season has gone so far? It's a simple and straightforward question. No need for BS. I want to hear your thoughts.
I can kick us off with that one. I think it's been a fantastic first half to the season. I think to be at this stage where we're in four competitions, top of the league, domestically and in Europe, and there's two losses that, if you really look at them, both of them were a coin flip in it. Both of them could have gone either way. So I think the side has shown the growth from previous years, but there is still a long way to go. We ain't popping no champagne around here just yet.
Mm, nah, very true, man. Kurt,
For me,
your
I feel.
thoughts?
For me, I feel it's been a good season. I think it's been a good start to the season, and I can't really ask much more. See, like in terms of the Champions League, we've done very well home and away. Carabao Cup, we've had good performances, good results. Premier League, obviously, we've only obviously got recently, obviously, unfortunately, recently, obviously, we did obviously lose to obviously Aston Villa away in at the closing seconds, and then Liverpool, unfortunately, Liverpool as well. Liverpool away, obviously, to Peach with a free kick. I do feel in that particular game that we played well. I feel that maybe could have might have done more to win the game, but on reflection, to lose that to obviously Pete with a free kick there, and then obviously City at home, our performances have been pretty decent in the Premier League. Considering we've had a few players out and stuff, we've had players returning from injury, and the people have stepped in. They've risen they've rose to the challenge. We've grounded, and most of it we've grounded out results by not necessarily playing at our best. Obviously, there was a debate around sustainability recently. Shout out a few of the people: Dan Potts, Ryan Clacko, etc. Robbie Love, and we've kind of proven our resilience, and it's looking good. But the thing is, it's now about how consistent can we stay for the remainder of the season, because sometimes we tend to have this wobble around the December period. But I'm
Mm,
feeling quite confident, man. We've got a decent sized squad. We head into the Champions League, Inter Milan away. Obviously, Korat Almaty at home, looking good for that. Probably progressed ready to the last 16. Carabao Cup, obviously, we know Chelsea's got their own woes. Obviously, their manager situation. I fancy us across two legs in the Carabao Cup. FA Cup, we had a touch that we got drawn to Portsmouth away. We didn't get our typical like previous seasons. We've had it where we've had tough fixtures like previous years. We've had like Liverpool in the third round at home. We've had one other year we had Man City away in the FA Cup. So yeah, man, it's looking good.
no, it definitely is, man. You know what? Someone's asking what the fuck are ASSNA?
I don't know, bro, because I support Arsenal. So
That is a little clickbait title because rivals. We'll get into it because one of the titles is have Arsenal overachieved, and why I actually put that as a title, have Arsenal overachieved, where we actually think about it and take a step back. We got 45 points, won every game in the Champions League. We're through to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. We're doing very well in the league, 4 points clear, and where we actually take into consideration we've had we've been decimated by injuries. We've had 8 different centre back partnerships at the back. Our striker is not striking, and Eze Eze's hot and cold. Odegaard, he's just looking back to his best the last couple of games. So there's a lot. Saka's not Sakaing. The Nando sauce is running out. We're a bit stressed in that regard, but I'm just looking at it like I feel like you can make a case for Arsenal overachieving with everything that we've gone through. It's been quite a lot.
I'll tell
Like
you why I
me,
wouldn't call it overachieving. I'll tell you why I
yeah,
wouldn't call it overachieving, right? Is because actually there's under Arteta, we've had a higher points total after 19 games before. When a couple of seasons ago, we was on like 50 points, right?
yes,
So we've done better than this. And I think what you've got to look at is we've never had a season where we've had so many new players coming in and having to bed in as well. So there is
yeah,
that aspect of it, right?
yeah,
So with the Odegaard, like I'm one who sort of a few weeks ago was saying Eze is actually taking his chance. So why is Odegaard coming back in? But in reality, it doesn't matter if they weren't doing much in the first half of the season. If they start coming good in the second half, they can help us
mm,
get over the finish line. That's why we got a
mm,
squad, boys. We need the whole
mm,
squad, every player. If you're not playing right now, like the gaffer said, you got to be ready. We need everybody at their best, everybody ready to step in. You look in previous seasons, right? Don't even have to go too far. Look at last season. The injuries that we got this year, if we had the squad depth we had last season, it's already a wrap. Like, we're already done at it. But
mm,
we're still in 4 competitions because the squad has been able to deal with it. Even some of the step-in players, like, let's look at the loss at Villa. We lost at Villa Park with the established back four nowhere to be heard of, right?
mm,
Do you think if we'd had our full back four there, that result ends the way it does? Because I genuinely don't, boys. But I'm
mm,
open to hear what you want to say.
yeah. But I'll before I let Curtis jump in, but that's why I'm not necessarily saying we're overachieving, but you can make the
Yeah.
case because, like you just mentioned, we were in that game. Look at that back line. We will never probably see that back line again unless it's against, I don't know, Portsmouth in the FA Cup.
Randoms in the League Cup or something.
Yeah, just a random game. It was mishmash. You had Ben White right back, Timber with Hincapié, and then who was the left back? Was it Skelly? I don't even. I've no Calafiori. So it's just
Fury, yeah.
exactly. And every single moment, one of the players you catch form. Noni looked like he was starting to catch form. Injury. Noni hit a brace. Now he's having to sit down. So there's been a lot of things that Arteta's having to work around. Whether you can argue about squad management, whatever, he's doing what
Mm,
needs to be done right now. And we're in this position because not just the squad, because of the manager as well. So, clock
absolutely.
end, I'll put that to you.
I think he's done. I don't think he's necessarily overachieved. I think some people that shout out Hugo. There was an argument recently. Hugo thinks he's underachieved. We was having that debate that week, thinking we should be 5 to 10 points clear at top of the league. I think we're there or thereabout. I would like to be a bit. Obviously, I like to have a higher points tally than we have currently. But I mean, given some of the circumstances we've had, I think we've done reasonably right. The only thing that I say was frustrating us. Obviously, the Man City at home in the Premier League, where it seemed like we didn't go bold enough in the midfield, and similar to Liverpool away, they're the only two games that really kind of grind on me. That I'm disappointed. Obviously,
Mm,
losing that to Aston Villa last minute, I can take that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We didn't have the typical defensive partnership there, but yeah.
If we're being honest, you only had about 20 minutes of that match, though, didn't we, Curtis? Really?
Yeah,
We had about 20 minutes of positive play in that match, and the rest of the time we were like kind of trying to nullify their threat. But you know, to see what the run that they went on, well, we were part of that run, but it shows that the side wasn't a joke.
mm,
So there's no shame in that. It's that Liverpool game. I think, do you know what? Just because you mentioned it, I'll just come in quickly and I'll shut up and let others talk. But the City game and the Liverpool game, I think, were games that taught Arteta something. Because if you remember the conversation we were having outside the ground, Curtis, particularly with the City game, is we felt like he wasn't brave enough with his selection.
yeah.
He kind of
well,
went into it a little bit on the back foot, a bit defensive.
and
And although he hasn't changed his style, I think post those games, he realised, nah, do you know what? I've got to put a bit more forward than what I did. And he has done so far in most games.
And you know why that was? It's because he played Mikel Merino in the 10. I warned everyone. And it's not just those two games when it was the Zubimendi, Rice, Merino. You can't play that midfield in any game.
Oh no.
You
There's more
need
games than that. I
creativity.
just think they're the two that you could.
No. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
no, but
obvious.
no, the what game was it? Athletic Club in the Champions League. He played that same midfield, and if you guys remember, we were shocking for 70 minutes. Martinelli came on and he scored in 1 second. He scored in
Yeah,
one
yeah,
second.
yeah.
Then
Facts,
Trossard
facts.
scored, so it looked a lot more like comfortable than it was. But when you play that Marino, Zubimendi, Rice, the balance is just not there. It's not there. It's a bit slow. It's a bit slow in the midfield. No forward thinking, like proper forward thinking. Like look at the pass Odegaard did for Zubimendi. That
Beautiful.
is what we want to see. That is what we want to see. When I saw that, I said, I just clapped. I just clapped. That's all you can do. You're like, finally, Odegaard, we've been cussing you. And I'm someone, if I cuss you and you do something good, I'm gonna my praise is just gonna be just as loud or even more louder because you're an Arsenal player. So I'm always happy when I see people creating. But on the creative point, I'll let Curtis I'll let Curtis have his monologue because
Mm.
we're talking about creating. So people are saying we are creating, people are saying we're not creating, but there's somebody that is not, I don't know if he's not getting on the end of it, if he's not finishing his dinner, if he just doesn't fit the style. What do you think is the suggestion for Victor Gyökeres? Or are you done?
The thing is, people would say like obviously we've been people saying jokes. He's playing in Timberlands, he's playing in jeans and stuff like that. The thing is, this guy's a talented player. We know the quality that he possesses. He scored a number of goals in Portugal. See, albeit we know the Portuguese league is different to playing in the Premier League. Some of it's got, it's down to him. His performances haven't been that great. He needs to be a bit more. He needs to impose himself more on the ball, impose himself more on centre backs, and his hold up play could be better. But I think with him, he's more just people looking at him to create his own kind of opportunities and score. But for me, I think predominantly he's a finisher. From what we see from the clips I saw of him, and I was lucky enough, I went out to Sporting last season, and he did bully Gabriel and Saliba a little bit. He just was unfortunate. He licked a shot off and he hit the post.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
yeah.
remember that shot because I was there at that game, and I think a mixture also is we need as a team to adapt our playing style to him as well and to his attributes because he's not an Henri, he's not a Havertz who can just bomb forward and get the ball. We've seen that he's getting beaten to the ball. So when he's playing, he's making the runs. He'll see the centre backs are catching up to him. I feel we need to, and also what I don't always like sometimes when we're playing the ball for midfield, we've got this tendency to play it out to the right, play it out to left to the wingers, and feed in. I want to see. Obviously, there were times we did see, obviously, like Eze or Odegaard playing through, but I want to see. There's also sometimes a hesitation from Odegaard to play the ball. Obviously, more recently he has started to play the balls through, but I want to see us play the ball through more to your careers. But not just that, I feel that the right winger can also unlock your careers. I feel sometimes like if we was to have say maybe like Trossard on the left or Jesus on the left, it'll bring your careers into play a bit more. I think that's a key, and also I think sometimes to do with the midfield tactics that we're playing. So, I feel in certain games we don't necessarily have to go with like, Rice, Zubimendi. Obviously, Rice, say Zubimendi as a six, Rice as an eight. Obviously, Rice is pretty solid. Obviously, he can play box to box. He's very athletic. He's very agile, and Odegaard at 10. I want to see some games where what we saw like West Ham at home, where I believe we saw Rice as the lone six. We saw Odegaard as
Eze
the 10, and we saw
mm,
Eze as an eight. For me, I feel even though they
Yeah.
Eze creative attacking midfielder, we're putting too much pressure on Eze to create. We saw what he was at Palace. He was, he received the ball in a half turn. He would beat a few players. He would lick a shot off 30 yards outside the box and score. We saw it. We saw when he played against Tottenham Hotspur. This man, give him the freedom, give Eze the freedom to play and get on the ball, and he will produce, whether it's assists, whether it's goals. Odegaard, even though Odegaard's a cam of 10, Odegaard is more like an 8, but an 8 with creativity. I want to see Eze and Odegaard play together. I think
Yep.
playing Eze as a lone cam is there's too much pressure on him to create and be this creative outlet. Let Odegaard and Eze play together in certain games with one lone six. Putting Eze out on the wing, for me, it nullifies his attributes. That's my
Yeah.
personal view. I don't necessarily think he's a and you've got a Teta shouting at Eze, get to the touchline, be on the touch. He's not a touchline winger. He's a left 8. He plays slightly inside from the left wing. That's my perspective anyway. But obviously, we can't do it for all games because some games we're going to have to see. For example, we might have
we
to play.
couldn't have done it the Villa game. The Villa game, you saw what happened to us.
We got overrun. We got overrun in midfield in the first half. Because that was frustrating because there's certain games you just can't play Marino. He's not agile or athletic enough to play left 8. Some games it works, some games it doesn't. So
No, definitely.
Yeah, I know the Villa game just gone. If you remember, on the walk up to the ground, and even when we were talking, because I meet up with Mr. Curtis for most games, innit? And I remember I was sort of saying to you that I would have loved, with Rice not being available, to have seen Zubi as the kind of holding one, and then you have Odegaard and Eze, and just give the two of them a license to just go out there and do what they do best and create. And I think with a front three, with Gokares in it, with Saka in it, with Martinelli or Trossard in it, you got those two players behind them putting balls through and putting balls into the right channels. They could. Do you know what I mean? It's milk and honey settings, man. They can clean up. But I think at the same time, we discussed this the last time I was on with you, Blacker. I can't remember, one of your brethren that was on was saying about, Arteta's aspect of having the control chaos in it. And I think the freedom that we are asking for is outside of the type of control that Arteta wants.
Yeah.
And I suppose you could argue that we have seen the kind of Harlem globetrotting, free playing, beautiful attacking football Arsenal towards the end of Wenger and for a little while before Arteta got here. And although the football was great to watch, we had United players Millie rocking at the Emirates. We were going up to Anfield and getting fists up 5-1. Do you know what I mean? Even Tottenham getting joy against us. So that's why the controls come in. And I suppose we just have to get used to that. But then I agree with Curtis. I think every game is slightly different. Every opposition is different. So there's got to be times where Arteta kind of loosens the grip a little bit and lets the boys run wild a bit.
No, definitely, man. My kind of take on it, Victor Gyökeres. So that was the initial question.
Sorry, I forgot that.
Yeah. Nah, it's cool. It's fine, man. This is our show, isn't it? We're thinking how are we gonna get more creation? And that's a good point, Eze and Odegaard. And I feel like there's a lot of games, especially at home against weaker opposition. Even away, there's gonna be some games, I don't know, like a West Ham, they're done. They're finished. Wolves finished. There's certain teams that are finished that you can afford to do it, but other teams you definitely can't, especially when there's physical midfielders.
I beg to differ with you slightly, Blacker, because you see in the second half of the season, I always tend to think the relegated side, or the sides relegation fodder, they become the most dangerous, right? I think one of you man's phone's ringing. They become the most dangerous simply because one or two things happens. Either they really start digging deep, trying to fight their way through to survive, or they accept their fate and then they play with no fear because they got no pressure on their head no more. All right, we're going down, but you know what? Let's just show out. And they become the sides that start to rob you of points.
But that's where, as a champion, if you're a champion, you have more fight than a dead man. He's dead already.
But we're
We
not
gotta go
champions
and put the nail
yet.
in the coffin.
We're trying to be champions. There's a difference.
It's a mindset.
I get the mindset.
You gotta think.
I get the mindset.
I'm gonna win the league. Do we believe we're gonna win the league? Because it's not just the players, it's us. Sooner or later, the fans are even gonna have to take the shackles off. Just was it?
I was never wearing them.
Yeah.
Right. But Curtis, you can back me up. If I'm lying and flying, right? Have I ever changed on my energy where when the window closed and I looked at the business that we did I said, nah, we can do it this year.
Because we prepared. We went into the season with a decent sized squad with 2 to 3 players in different positions, and we've got a load of versatile players. We know, like for example, when Ben White's fit, he can play right back, he can play right back, right centre back. We've got obviously Mosquera who can play right back, right centre back, left centre back. We've got Saliba who's predominantly right centre back, but he can play left centre back. Gabriel is predominantly left centre back. We've got Hincapie who can play left centre back, left back. Lewis Kelly can play left back. Lewis Kelly can play CDM box to box. Wright can play box to box CDM. We've got Norgard who plays obviously CDM. We've got Mendy is a CDM, but he's a progressive CDM. We've seen, we saw it even early on in pre-season at the Emirates when we played, was it Athletic Club, one of them in the friendlies where
Yeah,
we saw
Athletic, yeah.
we saw that double pivot with Wright and Mendy, and I knew we were onto something. Then when we saw early on in the Champions League, in one of some of the early fixtures, Marino plays box to box. For me, he's not my favourite left eight. I like Marino personally as a false nine. We've got Odegaard and Eze, who can both play cam. Odegaard and Eze can play box to box. We've got Trossard who can play left wing, play obviously centre forward. We've got Martinelli who can play left wing, centre forward. Gyökeres who can play centre forward. Havertz who can play centre forward and obviously midfield. Even though we don't really like Havertz as an 8 or a 10, he can play there. So we've got options. So looking forward to obviously we've got some of these fixtures coming up. For example, we've got like Wolves. We're playing Wolves in a few. Wolves in March or something. We want to see different formations. We're seeing Arteta say that Gyökeres and Havertz can play together. Some games against less opposition, we're expecting more of the ball. I want to see 4 in defence, maybe a double pivot in the midfield, and a left winger, a right winger, and a very advanced cam behind a striker. There's no reason why we can't play, with 2 strikers. We might see a game where we might see Havertz play slightly off Gyökeres. Some games, I remember, was it last year when we were playing Palace? That time when we played, was it Palace twice close together? Was it in the
Yeah. What,
Prem?
Jesus and Havertz?
We saw Jesus and Havertz, and so it seems like we're going to get position, and that'll probably help Gyökeres because he's going to have someone like Havertz, feeding and be playing off each other.
Yeah.
So in some games it can be done, or we might see a game where Havertz or Gyökeres is up top and Jesus is on the left wing. That way we can rotate or see Martinelli or Trossard. Different horses for different courses. For me, there's opportunities, there's different ways of playing, and obviously we're quite fortunate in the Champions League. Teams are very expansive in Europe, so they give us time, they give us space to create and score. Whereas in the Premier League, it can be a bit tough because some teams they're going to want to come and just set up in a low to mid block, and it seems like there's been some games we've still struggled to unpick that low block. But it seems like obviously Odegaard is returning to his best. We saw it against Olympiacos in the Champions League at home. We saw it Newcastle away. Newcastle when Odegaard come on and he was acting like the conductor and Eze went further forward and we had Marino up top. We had everyone up top. We literally threw the kitchen sink Newcastle away. There's going to be some of those games where even the other night we saw against Villa, Odegaard was playing with confidence and freedom that I hadn't seen in about 2 seasons. It took me back to 22-23 Odegaard when he scored 15 goals. And that's kind of Odegaard I want. Fair enough, he's the captain, he's got to defend, he's got to lead by example. But, I miss that high press we used to play with Havertz and Odegaard as a 4-4-2 off the ball or 4-2-3-1. So, I'm looking for even Bournemouth away. Obviously, we know Bournemouth has still got talent. I see that they've got Semenyo, etc. But there's no reason. Like listening to some of the interviews or what some of the players and managers are doing at the moment, they're saying they fear no one. So there's no reason why we can't be going to these grounds. Going to Bournemouth away tomorrow and getting a result. There's no reason why we can't. For me as well, we go away to Etihad on the 18th of April. It says we need to go to Etihad to Man City and get a result. I can't remember the last time we won there. It was such a long time ago that we.
Santi Cazorla.
That's how mad. When they say we've not won there since 15. Like it's been such a long time. People struggling to remember the last time we won away at Man City. That's how long ago it was.
It was
Crazy.
definitely Santi
We can
Cazorla.
go there and win that.
Yeah, no, definitely we can go there and win, but it's just a case of will we, and will we have a good enough lead by then? Because I feel if we have a good lead, say it's like 5-8 points, say 8 points, just 6-7 points, something like that, I feel we'll beat Manchester City. I don't. I need to see how we handle pressure. If it's only 2 points, and we know if we lose that game, they're gonna go on top of us. I want to see a different side to us at the business end of the season because although I'm quietly confident at the moment, it's a long old season, 19 games to go, and if we can register that form that we previously registered, that 16 wins in 18, we're definitely going to be champions. But one game at a time, that's my message. And to do with Victor Gyökeres, because I didn't get to finish my point, I feel like he's just not doing enough. That's the truth. I feel like he's not doing enough. It's him and Saka. If him and Saka can get the right link up, if they can get on the same page, that's his best. I don't even think it's Eze. I feel Saka because Saka always has the ball. He always has it in
Yeah,
dangerous areas, and he
yeah,
always shoots. He always shoots, or the crosses are to the near post, and Gyökeres is not. He's not clued on about this near post. You got to get in front of your man. He done it once in, I think it was the last game against Villa, the
yeah.
diving header.
Dabbing it up.
How many times have we seen him get across his man? There's so many times he's static in the box. He needs better movement.
He needs
And
better movement.
now Havertz and Jesus is back. Havertz is back. I don't know if he's gonna start tomorrow. I don't know.
Jesus should be starting tomorrow, but you can understand the manager's kind of gripe that he's been trying to play Gyökeres into form because you'll see he's a 60-odd million pound player. You can understand, he's got to make it similar to when we signed Havertz. How many, we kept playing Havertz and Havertz and Havertz until he scored that penalty away at Bournemouth. Then eventually removed him from the midfield up top the
Mm,
second half of the season, and it worked out. So I think we should start Jesus. He scored quite a decent goal. He's looked good when he's come on. And then, but I'd still like to see Gyökeres come on late to get minutes to stay fresh. It's not a case of just. Also, we know how susceptible Jesus is to injury as well, so we can't be playing my man 90 minutes.
maybe after
How about
60
this?
minutes,
Yeah,
we try Gyökeres and Odegaard. I mean Gyökeres and Havertz together. Maybe if we're winning 2-0, that's the
yeah,
time. That
yeah,
might
But
be
this
the
is what I
time.
was going to say. How
Mm.
about you play Jesus on the wing and you still play Gyökeres?
Yeah, no, you can do that as well, but you can't drop Trossard. You can't. Trossard, he's undroppable. I think we could all
yeah.
agree he's undroppable.
Best finisher, best attacker this
I
season, most
wouldn't. I
consistent
wouldn't
attacker.
see it. I wouldn't see it as dropping him. I would see
Yeah, I
it
know,
as
resting,
rotation,
resting.
rest,
Because we got
right?
Liverpool on
Because of the day,
Thursday.
right?
It's a good game. Liverpool Thursday at home at the Emirates, 8 o'clock kickoff. Thursday night under the lights.
Mm,
Mm. This is what I'm saying to you, boys. If we want to sustain a title challenge, we've got to get out of the habit of
yeah.
running players into the ground. So we need to know, but we need to have a bit of rotation in the side. And I think Bournemouth are not to be joked with. They're a very good side. They play a very good brand of football. But there is an opportunity to rotate 2 or 3 players in that game, I think.
Mm,
All the other players that you're taking out, they can still be on the bench. It's not a
mm,
problem, is it? They can come on later if it's not working after 20 minutes. I don't. I feel like we can be more brave with rotation because I don't want to curse us now, but for a long time we ain't been the type of side that goes and ships 3 or 4 goals,
mm,
right? And we've demonstrated over previous years that if we do go a goal behind, we can turn that game around.
yeah.
So therefore, that gives me a little bit of confidence or a little bit of insurance to say, yeah, go rotate a bit in that game. Just share the minutes out because these are players that we need to be ready over the course of the season. And I'm not just
Mm,
thinking about this season because remember, this is a World Cup year. So if you think the injuries have been bad this year, wait till we get to next season when people would have played all this football and then gone and play the World Cup.
mm. So, my next question, I'll throw this to you, Curtis, because I heard you're a doctor. So, why do you think do you think these injuries, do you think it's bad luck? Or do you think there's something in a bit of poor rotation, overrunning players, running players into the ground? What do you think the issue is? Or do you think it's maybe a bit of both?
I think it's that dodgy lasagna they keep serving at the Emirates to the players in the canteen. But no, seriously, all things considered, I think it's a mixture of, some players playing too many minutes. I've also heard that training can be quite intensive. It can almost be up to like match standard. Maybe lack of rotation at some time at key times, overplaying players. It's a mixture thing. I think it's been unfortunate with some of the players, obviously, like with obviously Saka being out, Odegaard busted his shoulder twice, having that shoulder injury twice. It's unfortunate Madueke, he was looking quite promising. But it's an interesting one with Madueke because Chelsea fans, they whilst they said he was a promising player, they did say that he kind of lacked in product. And obviously he's starting to add that now playing for us. Obviously he scored those couple of goals there at Bruges. And there's still more to see from him. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. And then obviously Mosquera obviously picking up an injury. He was looking pretty good. Ben White, we played him, was it 4 games in a row, and then he picked up an issue and then he was out for a number of weeks. Martinelli's been out with an issue, Trossard's been out of an issue. Havertz had several setbacks. It took him quite a long time because I think, did we not see Havertz since like August or September, they said? And we've only just seen Havertz back after 3 or 4 months, which is quite wild. Obviously,
remember, Havertz getting injured is why we got Eze.
Yeah, that's true. That's the positives of that. Rice now picking up an inflamed knee. Rice's broken toe earlier. These
Saka, Gabriel, Saliba.
Gabriel getting injured on international. I say internationally, mate, he was playing for Brazil at the Emirates in a friendly. And shout out Dylan. Dylan was at the game. I was going to go to the game. Tickets were a bit dear. They wanted £100 for 2 tickets in the clock in to see Brazil Senegal. And I said, no, I'm not paying that. Shame. I was going to go to the game, and it just makes it like, fair enough. He wants to represent his country, but it's like it's a friendly. I don't know why Ancelotti or Gabriel himself or Arteta say to him, why play?
Not before the game as well. That's the craziest thing.
It makes you think, because I remember last year when they said, Gabriel suffered a tier 1 hamstring against West Ham, and then they played him, and then they said then he got injured against Fulham a few weeks later. It makes me think. See, and then Calafiori picking up knocks in international duty, and obviously the other day suffering an injury during training, so means he's out. The only positive obviously of that, Lewis Skelly and Hincapie are going to get more minutes at left back. Also with Rice out, I don't know why we can't start this. We know Lewis Skelly is a midfielder by trade in the academy. He's played CDM, he's played box to box. He plays as a left back for us in the senior squad. We've seen him invert into midfield. We need to start coaching it. Not necessarily coaching. We need to start testing him out in our midfield, because there's going to be times when Rice is out or when Mendy's out. I know we've got Norgard, but Lewis Skelly's probably got more athleticism than Norgard or Marino.
He's the nearest replacement that we probably have in terms of legs.
I'm sure he does in training. Surely they use him there in training in small side games. Because they do it anyway.
He's our third choice left back.
Do you remember last season when we went away to Ipswich towards the end of the season? We saw there was a couple of games where I remember Kieran Tierney. We saw Kieran Tierney play left wing in a couple of games, Southampton away and Ipswich away, where we were struggling towards the end. Attack was we saw Kieran Tierney going as a left winger. I think both Southampton away last game of season. Ipswich.
And he wasn't awful there either, was he?
Wait, PSG came on as a left winger, wasn't it? And he's whipping in. Was it PSG? Whipping in.
He wasn't awful, was he?
And we also saw Lewis Skelly play against Ipswich in the midfield for the last 20 minutes because we know he can play there. So I think it's a mixture of that training being intense, players playing slightly too much minutes, not being rotated enough. Because Ben White was starting to look good. He looked really, really good in those couple of games. It's unfortunate that he played 4 games and picked up injury, and we were starting to see the Ben White of old, what we saw a couple of seasons ago. So, luckily we've got a large squad, but we are picking up injuries. It seems like 1 in, 1 out, right, at the moment, because we had Gabriel back and then we lost Rice. So, let's hope that Rice is not out for too long, because we don't have a Declan Rice replacement. We don't have someone that, because also we know Eze is great, but he's more of a cam than a box-to-box. We don't have someone, like you said, the closest profile would be a Lewis Skelly. And whilst he's only 18, 19, his body's still feeling out. He's not of the same stature and kind of like, body type of, say, like a Declan Rice. He's not as physical as the Declan Rice. So,
but he's strong though. He's demonstrated that last year.
But so since we're not using him there, we have been linked today. I've seen links. I don't know. There's loose links. D, do you think we need a midfielder? And would you be opposed to seeing Goretzka?
I'm not opposed to a midfielder coming in. I've always kind of said it would be wise to have additional cover for Rash as a starting point,
Yeah.
just to sort of lay out the players that
Yeah.
if we were going to do anything in the window, I'd like to see us look at possibly a loan for a bit of cover at right back. I've always said like maybe a creative midfielder or someone who can sort of maybe do a bit of the work that Rice does coming forward, even if you can't do it coming backwards, because I think we have got defensive options that could step in. Like, for example, Ben White could easily play as a DM.
He's played DM before as well. Previous clubs he plays as DM.
Brighton,
Brighton he's played
or
as
Leeds.
DM.
Leeds as
I
well,
think.
both of them, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, and also a player who could play across the front three. I've always said that I wouldn't mind, even from the summer, I said I wanted two strikers just because I think you just get a striker that can play a different way. So if a game's not going your way, you can bring them on, you know, like, okay, target man, throw the ball at him. He knows where the net is. Don't have to be amazing, don't have to be a superstar, just has to be someone who knows how to score goals. Once upon a time, I might even said to you, Chris Wood, just to have as an option on the bench.
People turn up their nose at Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now look at him now. Free.
Injury prone though. Always been injury prone.
But for free? 1 season for free? We could have had him for this season.
But then do you know what it is? You know what Arsenal are like with an injury, right? We would get him and he'd be injured the whole season.
Yeah, definitely. He'll be finished.
Do you know what I mean? It's the intensity that we train at, and that's no disrespect to Leeds. I'm sure they run a fantastic training system, but it is evident that it's been documented how intense training is at Arsenal, in it. So I think with the injury history, it wouldn't be wise for us to go and get a player like that. But yeah, like the comment saying here, innit? That is my overall thing. Like we've played some of our hardest games, our hardest away games with all those injuries, and we still sit top of the tree 4 points game. Okay, in all honesty, we probably should be a bit better than that. We should be closer to 8 to 11 points clear.
Yes.
If, you know, the 1% didn't go against us in certain games. Sunderland, Liverpool.
But then again,
and I'd even say City, because I think
Wolves, we should have drew. We should have drew. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but own goal was our top scorer.
But even so, like I said, the game we mentioned 4 games there, so that's 12 points, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 2 points drop. Like I said, somewhere between 8 to 11 points, isn't it? So with that draw against Wolves, with maybe not getting that lucky 1 goal against Palace, you still get to the same 8 points that I'm talking about.
Yeah. I feel like the Wolves game, that's the only one that I say, has gone in our favour. Like, that's fully gone in our favour. I feel like every other game, the results have been the correct result. Like Sunderland, we should have won. But on the balance of play, we deserved the draw. Sunderland deserved the point. We know they deserved
they worked for that,
like they were good. They were good that day. And Chelsea, did we deserve to win that? Even they had 10 men? No.
We
could have. We could have stole it. That would have been a robbery if Timber didn't steal the ball off Gyökeres's head. So a lot of games have sort of not necessarily gone our way. It's the percentages. The percentages, because we're playing very well, we're getting the results. And I'm just hoping the second half of the season, this is where we're going to talk about next. Because Manchester City, they got to play Chelsea twice. They got to play Tottenham, their bogey side, who's already beat them at home. They got to play against Manchester United at Old Trafford. They got to go to Anfield. They got a couple of things. They got a couple of things that we don't have. We don't have those problems no more. So, how confident are you? First of all, do you feel like we'll even drop another point at home? We probably got, I think, 9 games remaining. How confident are we of maintaining this unbeaten home record for the rest of the season?
Unbeaten, very possible, but I don't think it's going to be 3 points every week, just because I think, you never know what happens with injuries. Obviously, there's European football there's going to be a factor again. Well, obviously, we've got a couple of games end of Jan and then February, March, all the way through, really. There's
Yeah.
going to be European football games. Obviously, if we do well in the League Cup, there's a final there, so you never know. I think there might be a draw just because certain players are rested or not risked because of that tie that's coming up in 3 days' time. And I think this is the reason why I'm saying where you've got the opportunity to kind of expand and rotate the squad a bit, do it because everybody needs minutes in their legs for the next part of what's to come. Like we do have some mostly games on paper that are fairly winnable. I don't like to say easy. I don't believe there's an easy game in the Prem, but we do also have some games that could be definitive in a very tight title race. So, for example, having to go to the Etihad, right? You go there and they're a point behind you, whatever. You open a gap with points that they can't go and get anywhere else because you got it off of their head, right? The final day of the season, we're at Palace away, a ground that can be sticky for people sometimes. If it comes down to that final day,
And
Palace are the type of side who like to rob souls from people. They
And not
like to
just
just
that.
make you think you're a champion and then just cut your legs off. So
Have you seen your Man City's got on the final day?
who?
Good evening. He'll let them win. He'll let them win. We
See what I'm
can't
saying to
trust
you,
him.
right? So it's a long old battle. It's a long old battle through to May, innit? And I'm not one to look too far ahead, but I am fairly confident that the three of us will be partying somewhere in N7 in May.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
We might even go live while we're doing it.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Believe, boys, trust me. Like this, what I would say, if for anyone who doesn't believe, is what have they done that makes you doubt them? What have you seen that makes you doubt them? Because I'm listening to them, I'm listening to Arteta, and the hunger, and they really feel the pain from being close so many times and not getting over there. And I think that pain is driving them on. I really think that they are committed to trying to do it this year. So
I hope they're on social media, just looking at all the banter.
nothing is guaranteed, but I believe in these boys. I think they're not gonna make it happen again.
It comes down to whether it comes down to whether we can hold our nerve, isn't it? In the business end of the season at the moment, okay, we fought against pressure the other day. Playing Aston Villa, we knew Manchester City was on our tails, but are we going to be able to maintain the pressure tomorrow? Are we going to be able to go and beat Bournemouth knowing that City are on our tails? Are we going to be able to do it week in, week out? That's what it comes down to. And will we get to March and still be in a similar position?
It's every time they step on the pitch, with that badge on your hat, on their chest, there's pressure.
Yeah, but
you're playing for Arsenal Football Club. Every day's pressure. I don't care.
No,
like
I do agree with that in a sense, but then
the
again,
expectation's always there, isn't it? Like I agree. For many
I
years,
don't think
people didn't have it
as much pressure. We're in December, January. Like, there's no like, if you lose, nothing's gonna happen. Like, there's no real consequence to losing a game right now. There's 19 games to go. When there's 5 games to go, I'm hoping. In my head, it's done. It's done already. But
I disagree with you because
if you haven't
done your work in
there.
December, haven't done your work in December, then there's nothing to play for with 5 teams to go because the other ones have run off. You have to build that. The first half of the season is, for me, the target is you need to be trying to get yourself to 50 points.
Yeah,
we're just shy of that. I'm not mad.
Yeah, but that's where I disagree because I'm looking. I think the next 10 games is where the title is going to be won or lost from both sides. This is where the gap. If Arsenal can go on the run, now is where we need the run.
We've seen City do it before.
Yeah, we need to break City's spirits. That's what we need to do.
If we didn't do what we've done up to this point, we wouldn't be in a position to capitalize on this. So I'm not fighting you, Blacker. What I'm saying is, I understand your point. You're saying that this is the critical point of the season, and I fully accept that point. We are all in agreement on that. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't do what we've done in the previous 19 games, you don't get the privilege of even being able to experience this run to say that's the run I go on. Because Liverpool, with all due respect, Liverpool go on that run now. it's not going to come to anything with everyone else that's above them, because they
Yeah.
need so many other people to
To
have a
capitulate.
nightmare of an evening for it to work, that it's not going to
Mm.
work, innit? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying the first 19 games for me is where you put your anchor on the side of the mountain, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the season is where you climb it.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So
mm.
to be honest, if you're gonna make your mistakes, if you're gonna have your blips, try and have more of them in the first 19 than you do the last.
Yeah. It's no miss snooker. That's the territory we're going into.
Go back in the 90s, and that's the thing, because I know you said like it's 98, but back in the 90s, right? The There were still a couple of giant killings in terms of games, but
Yeah.
by and large, the results
Yeah.
were the results. You go to Leicester, you get 3 points. You go to Spurs, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Even before Abramovich, you go to Chelsea, you get 3 points. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it was for Arsenal,
Mm,
United,
mm,
Liverpool, even Liverpool at certain points in time. You could go and run rings around them, innit? So
mm,
it was a different time. Nowadays, 7, 8 teams are in and around it up until Christmas. And then there's three that pull away either just before Christmas or just the other side of it. It's very
mm,
competitive now. Do you know what I mean? You've got so many rivals who, with a few results, are on your neck. Like even Chelsea, like even with everything that's going on with them, new manager comes in as a new manager bounce, they're in and around it.
mm.
Unai goes out and gets a brilliant player, and he goes on a 9 game run. They're not far off it.
You actually,
Sunderland go on a crazy run. They're in Europe.
Yeah.
you actually
Like,
see City are due to play Chelsea on Sunday at 5:30 under the lights. Do you actually think Chelsea can get something out of it? Because Man City are picking up form. Foden's. We've got Foden playing well, Shirky playing well, Reinders playing well, Haaland playing well. Do you think City can actually get a draw, get a win against City at the Etihad? Because most of us are saying it's guaranteed 3 point City. So how do you feel about that now? So we play first, so we've got to deliver. There's going to be some times where City will be playing first before us.
They play
we just
first when we
discussed that
have
Chelsea gave
Liverpool.
us a game. We
What's
just
that
said
one?
that Chelsea gave us a game, so why couldn't they give City a game?
Yeah, it's true.
I just feel like
Depends what Chelsea turns up, innit?
yeah, that's the thing. You see, with this manager situation, I don't feel like the players weren't playing for Enzo Maresca, if that makes
No, I
sense.
don't. I don't.
I feel like they were. You could see there was, especially in big games, there was unity.
Yeah.
Like there was unity in big games, and now he's not there. Yes, Chelsea, we know they can just rise to the occasion, but
Mm.
I feel like some players are gonna be a bit, like
See, Chelsea of
upset.
old, I would have said they're used to this, but the fact of the matter is there's been so much movement in the players now. After the ones when they were really choppy with the managers, they weren't
Yeah,
even there then. Like most of these lot are Maresca's players by and large, because
yeah,
or ones that he salvaged. Because remember, he banished a lot of the original Chelsea players to the
yeah.
8 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock at night training crew, which I think is wild. Like you got Raheem Sterling sitting there earning big money for the next 3 years, telling man he's got to come in and train in the evening. Like that's one thing I don't know if that was Enzo or if that's the club, but I do think that's a little bit crazy. And I think it's disrespectful, even though I know his form hasn't been great for a man who's done what he's done in the Premier League. That's disrespectful.
Mm, yeah, big up to misunderstood Nigel. Yeah, man, I definitely agree. I can't see anything. And you know what? I'm gonna write off Chelsea. If they lose, I can laugh at them. If they pick up points, I'm gonna thank them. It's gonna be so good. You thank them. Oh my days. Well done. Well done. You can thank them. It
Look,
will burn Chelsea fans so much more if they can take points off City home and away, and it gives Arsenal the title. That that's what I want. I want them to be in pain. I want their pain because they're the Chelsea fans. They're so arrogant. I've been praying for times like this. I can't lie to you guys. Ever since Roman Abramovich came in, Wayne Bridge dusted us off. Wayne Bridge dusted us off in the Champions League. Chelsea, they've been my mortal enemies. Then Jose Mourinho, specialist in failure.
yeah,
They've been
that
my
that one cut deep.
mortal
Yeah, that
enemies.
cut deep.
They came, they took our Invincibles crown. Chelsea, they came out of nowhere and it's annoyed me. And Manchester City, when they stole all our players, Adebayo, Nasri, Clichy, Sanya, they're another team I hate. Those were the teams I hated the most. But now you have your scumbag Man United fans and our rivals Tottenham that have probably just just taken over. But yeah, man, I really hope Chelsea can get something from this game, but I just can't see
Do you
it.
know what?
I just can't see
The
it. I
form
don't want to
guide, the
hurt
form
myself.
guide says that they're gonna go and get cooked, but I would just say there is enough in and around. I mean, end of the day, Palmer, if he's fit and he fancies it, he can do
Caicedo
it when he's flipping
suspended.
no, mate. Yeah, that's a big problem. That is a very big problem. But if Palmer is available and he's up for it, you know, X side was put on a show.
Mm,
Like the man can control games by himself. Like get the
yeah.
ball in and around him, get him in the positions where he's dangerous. Something can happen. End of the
Mm,
day, there's nothing to say that City aren't having a little self-reflection moment after their draw at Sunderland.
mm,
Do you know what I mean? Like this comment saying here, equally they might just want to let fire on Chelsea now just because of what happened. You know what I'm saying just release on them, fam.
it- oh, hey, like I say, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I just Chelsea, we've
I wouldn't be
also
surprised
got
if
them,
Haaland don't score a hat trick.
but that will it's still not going to give us no indication. Are you guys more confident or less confident now that they've sacked their manager about playing them in the semi-final? Because
More confident,
more
100%. That guy looks like an absolute clown. When I watched that video of their coach, he looked like some geezer from the in-betweeners who's just become being hired to become some manager of a football club. Like if Maresca was still in charge, we know he can get results because we've seen him. He's won the Club World Cup, he's won the Europa Conference League, and to be fair, I need to give Chelsea a bit of credit. They do turn up in big competitions. I watched them in the Europa Conference League final. They played all right there, and then obviously they played the Club World Cup. We know through her history they can turn up, but with this guy in charge, I think he's come on managing Strasbourg, yeah, versus managing Chelsea. It's a big step up. So
But hold on. I don't think as Arsenal fans we got the right to be kind of even throwing that type of banter about because who did Arteta manage before he came and managed Arsenal?
that's
no
very
one.
Yeah,
true.
remember the jokes? He was
Yeah,
just putting out the codes for Pep,
It's
right?
good man for Pep,
but
So
yeah.
who are we now to come laugh at this guy? He's
how
actually
many
managed
years
a club
has it
before he's managed
taken him?
Chelsea.
And some would say he still hasn't proven himself. His harshest critic will say after 6 years he still has nothing to show for it. And that is the level of the Premier League. This guy, is he gonna get Arteta time?
Well,
No, not at
nobody
Chelsea.
gets
No,
Arteta time
not
at
at
Chelsea,
Chelsea.
do they? Do you know what I mean? Prime
Yeah.
Prime Ancelotti's getting chopped after 18 months if it ain't working. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Mourinho, they chop Mourinho, bring him back and chop him again. So do you
But
know what I mean? Like
Lampard.
Thomas Tuchel won the Champions
Lampard,
League, and then what was it, 18
Lampard, big
months later?
legend, like big, greatest
Yeah,
ever midfielder. Like man brought it. I said, listen,
like
see
you
the door
said,
over there?
Tuchel.
Are you that?
Tuchel, Champions League winner.
Did
Who?
Maresca just
Oh
did.
won
man.
2 cups. He just won
Mm.
2.
Well, I knew something wasn't right when they had Tuchel and he'd won the Champions League, and then not that long, like a year and a bit later, I was on holiday in South France, and they got rid of Tuchel. And then they brought in Graham Potter. You know what I mean? The amount of people they've gone through. Graham Potter. I hope they brought in Graham Potter from Brighton or whatever to manage Chelsea Football Club. Come on, man! And then they've got Maresca. Obviously, then we'll see whoever. And then Maresca's obviously won.
Pochettino.
Pochettino was there. Obviously, Maresca says he's won the Conference League in this start at Club World Cup. Should have been given more time. Like, it's crazy. And then
But
for this guy, they brought in
the problem is not the manager; it's the structure.
to structure
It's
the club.
ridiculous. How can you have but that's the thing. He's not a manager, and we need to stop saying manager because
Head coach.
obviously, even it was made
Head
clear
coach.
to him, he's just the coach. Like everybody else decides the players, do this, that, the other, and they tell him that's who you got. Go work with that. Like that for me.
It's
Why did he
horrible.
even take that job compared to what he had and what he was doing? Why would you take a job like that? Like for me, I
Because
don't understand that. If I'm
think
gonna be
about
the
it.
one that's gonna be getting sacked if the results are bad, how can I have no say in who plays for me? What are you talking
But
about?
But that's where you have to respect him because he's walked. He's had enough.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah,
had enough. And
yeah.
his stocks are high. They're at all time. He's left with 2 trophies. He's done what needs to be done.
I'm
And
sure I read on Sky Sports that one of the things that irritated Chelsea is that he had held talks with City and with Juve
Juventus.
about potentially
Mm.
going over to them at some point in
But
time. And
they're doing a smear campaign. They said he lacked mental fortitude and emotional maturity.
that is ridiculous. How can you come out and brief the media against your own manager? Like that's low, man. Like, do you know what I mean? That's low.
I chose. You see, PR is a dangerous game. It's a
Mm.
dangerous business, you know, because
That's ice cold, boy.
you might think, yes, I've done so well. The fans think you've done so well, and then boom, you get hit with a jab. So
What
Tuchel
I'd
is
say
the
though is
last.
the Chelsea owners need to be careful, right? Because at the end of
Yeah.
the day, this is English football, bro. This isn't the Major League Baseball or
Mm,
none of those American sports where people are just franchised in and they're just like dummies. Like the Chelsea fans will get fed up sooner or later, and they'll
mm,
be calling for them to disappear. Do you know what I mean?
no.
Like
Mm,
it's not gonna be sustainable to keep doing this foolishness. So they need to pattern up, like
mm,
honestly, because you
no, they
spent
definitely do.
£2 billion, gone through how many different managers? I mean, people get onto Arteta for spending 700 million. He's probably hit the billion now, to be fair,
Yeah.
with this window. But in that time, you can look at the team and you can see progression. You can see, all right, cool. They've gone from eighth to consistently challenging at second place, getting into semi-finals of the Champions League. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
the thing that was a positive last year for Chelsea is the fact that they had so many players. They almost had a squad for each of the competitions that they were playing in. Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? So the rotation is why Chelsea were able to do what they do because they kept the
Mm,
main players for the charge of trying to get back into the top four, and all the
mm,
other players around the periphery they went and played in all those competitions for them.
no,
Do
I
you know what I
hear
mean?
you. So, so I've obviously I didn't. So you guys are more confident that because I believe Tuchel's the last Chelsea manager that's actually beaten Arsenal. So
Yeah.
4 managers have all been sacked. They ain't beaten Arsenal under Clear Lake. So you guys are confident about this semi-final in the Carabao Cup, yeah?
I think
Yeah,
we'll beat them in 2 legs.
Mm,
do you know what? For me, just keep the tie in contention in the first leg. So even if you were unfortunate enough to get a defeat, then make it a 1-0. So you can take it back to the Emirates, and that's reversible. You just don't want to go and get peppered. I think even
yeah.
2-0, like just from having nightmares about the
Newcastle,
Newcastle situation,
yeah. Two
like
nils done.
even 2-0 is a long day. Like, do you know what I mean?
So no.
Keep it a 1-0, a 2-1. You can reverse that, but you just make sure that when you come to the Emirates, it's full throttle. Do you know what I mean? Like hit them. But I think, yeah, definitely, I'm confident that we can win the tie. But I think it's just how we perform in that first tie at their place. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
And to be honest, I think the only thing that slightly disappoints me about Enzo going is I actually think he would have rotated quite a bit for that. I don't think he would have put too many of the first teamers out. I reckon he'd have rotated a bit. Not too much, but I don't know now if maybe that changes the type of side we face against Chelsea now.
mm, that's true. So yeah, clock end, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. Confident we can get past Portsmouth. You're confident about Chelsea.
Yep, I think Carabao Cup. I think we go through over 2 legs. At first, I was very nervous. I still see. We know the talent, the quality that Chelsea possess in terms from an attacking perspective, but they're susceptible to goals. They can shout at Felix. His favourite phase is Chelsea have got defence that can be got at, and whilst they're great attacking wise, they've got obviously Palmer, they've got these, they've got Neto, they've got that wonder kid, haven't they? But they always go on about. But the thing is, we know they can leak goals, and I back our defence. Like the other day when we was going to Villa, we always say like with Gabriel and Saliba coming back in, we know we're not shipping more than one goal. And obviously, I know we create a lot of chances and we're not overly clinical, but we've got decent attackers. We've got Trossard, we've got Martinelli. You know, you're fair enough. Your question is not fine. But we've got Jesus, we've got Havertz coming back in, scored. We've got Madueke, you've got Saka, Odegaard's performing, he's scoring as well. So I back us over 2 days in a Portsmouth away in the FA Cup, back us as well. And I'm confident, man. I'm confident. We like, even in the Champions League, look, got to semi-final last year with a decimated squad compared to the squad
Yeah,
we've got now this year. So we can go far in the Champions League, and same with the Prem. So it's looking good. I'm hoping that, you know, it'd be nice to actually, because last year it was quite frustrating. I was at both Newcastle United games in the Carabao Cup. And obviously, we held 2-0 at home and away. Obviously, with the Carabao Cup, we went out, and
yeah,
at
that
the
was
time,
pain.
people were saying, "Oh, we don't care about the Carabao Cup. We focus on the Prem." And then I was like, at the time, and I was having an argument with Julian and Cecil, was like, "We can't disrespect these cups. If we're going out to Newcastle United over 2 legs in the Carabao Cup, what chance do we stand at the Prem?" And then the similar, obviously, with FA Cup to obviously go out to Newcastle, go out to Manchester United on penalties last year. I'm
That was
looking forward to going
embarrassing.
far in all these competitions because, you know, we're more ruthless enough where we're taking a chance of scoring. Okay, fair enough. We do need to be more clinical. But what I like is the control, the possession style of football starting to pay off. Last year, I found it very frustrating. We was playing this control possession based football, but not seeing the we weren't reaping the benefits of it. But now I'm starting to actually see we're suffocating teams. And once we get that first goal, like we've seen against obviously Villa and a few other performances this year, Bruges away, etc., we're putting some teams away. So, and we're defending well. So yeah, I believe, not too many. Not can't really. There's not that many complaints. You know, obviously we've still got players to come back. Obviously we've got Mosquera to come back at some point. Dalman's out for a couple of months. We'll be back. But I'm looking forward to seeing Havertz back because as much as we get on to Havertz, and I actually do like him. I actually do think like at times he's can be a decent finisher both inside and outside the box. So we know another person who's looking forward to him coming back is his mate Odegaard, because obviously when Havertz joined, I see Odegaard give him the penalty away at Bournemouth, and they formed a nice friendship since then. They go on holiday together and stuff like that. So we know with Havertz coming back into that squad, Odegaard's going to be feeding him through balls. And Havertz going to be running into balls, slotting them away. So yeah, exciting times for the Arsenal.
It's
Yeah.
good to have different options, isn't it, Curtis? That's the thing. It's just good to be able to
Exactly.
say, right, in a game, you can have Jesus doing what he does. You can have Gokares doing what he does. You can have Havertz doing what he does. You can even throw Trossard or Martinelli up top if you really were desperate, and both of them could do something. So
Mm.
yeah, options in all departments. This is the problems that we prayed for many years.
Mm. Would they call it third world problems? That's what they call it. We got third world problems at Arsenal. It's not much to complain about. And I think, unless, is there anything else you guys think we can touch on that we haven't touched on? Because I feel like we've covered the majority of it. And I'm sure we'll speak again, big up Jam as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think we can probably
I
leave
think
it
we,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've covered most things.
Yeah,
Covered
man.
most things, lads. Let's
We
be
still
honest.
got another half of the season to go, and I'm sure we'll be here for the review. Hopefully, we might have 2 bottles of champagne each, and
The future's
hey,
bright. The future's Arsenal, mate. Don't worry about it.
alright, people.
Cool.
Everyone that's tuned in, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Arsenal mid-season review. I'm joined by my man Clocken. You wanna tell them where they can find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the platforms, Clock in Curtis. I go all home games and I go to a lot of ways as well. So
Mm,
yeah, guys, shout me.
yeah. And D, anything for the people?
Not really. I don't content create, guys. I just come and chat to the man them and come and
Yeah,
just
man.
vent my opinions. But yeah, you can come and say hi on TikTok. Very similar
Yeah.
to what it says there. You can come find me and come say hello on TikTok if you want to still.
Yeah, man. Well, people, thanks once again for joining, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're out, people. Come on, you Gunners!
Come